Recently we talked about the Peloponnesian War and Macedonia along with Alexander the Great's conquest, and I wanted to create a short review video for you to watch to prepare for your test, since our poster project maybe some felt they didn't get all the details they wanted. So I want to begin with the Peloponnesian Wars, and leading up to that, Sparta and Athens had been fighting with the Persians immediately to their east for quite a long time. Athens using its powerful navy and Sparta using its great army. In order to help protect against the Persians, Athens had a great idea. They were going to create an alliance, a group of city-states for mutual defense, and they called it the Delian League since it was founded on the island of Delos. And smaller city-states would pay some money to Athens, who would supposedly use that money to pay for the defense and expand its navy and make sure they're strong. But the Athenians, however, used the money to pay for buildings in their city-state and did things that weren't necessarily for the best of the Delian League, even though it was good for themselves. And so other city-states resented this, and Sparta in particular decided to march and lay siege to the city-state of Athens. That means they surrounded them and said, you can't come out and grow crops and get all the stuff you need. And they waited and waited and nothing happened, and so Sparta says, well, we'll starve you out. So they burned their crops. But Athens was on the sea, and they had a powerful navy, and they said, well, we don't need you anyways. They got in their boats, went out to the ocean, got their materials, and came back. We're like, ha. Sparta laid siege for 10 years, and eventually they called a truce and just went home. Athens was like, well, we came out pretty good on this in the end. And a few years later, Athens decides they want to expand their empire even further, and this time they attack the island of Sicily. However, at Sicily, Athens' navy and army are crushed, and most of its navy is destroyed. And they come back, especially irritated by this was Sparta, who didn't get their victory, but now see a weakened Athens. They come around, they come back, and this time they defeat Athens. Sparta takes control, therefore, of Greece for roughly 30 years, and the other city-states are resentful of Sparta's rough handling of the issue, and so there's even more fighting. So city-states, some gain power for a while, and other gain power for a while, and they continue to fight. This is known as the Peloponnesian War. These series of wars on the Peloponnesian islands, or the peninsula there, all throughout Greece. And with all this fighting, young men are dying, and food is going out. Food is going to the soldiers. There's less farmers. There's less artisans. All these people are having a hard time, and sure enough, this weakens Greece. To the north is a place called Macedonia, who noticed these events, and eventually King Philip II notices the weakened Greece and decides, time to take some action. And sure enough, Philip II of Macedonia comes down and mounts an attack against Athens and Thebes. Athens says, please come help us, we need your help, and everyone's like, forget you. And Thebes in Athens are crushed by Philip. The other city-states see how badly Athens and Thebes are defeated and decide, you know what, it's probably better if we just become part of Macedonia, and that's what happens. Philip is a really great military leader because he takes good ideas and he makes them even better. So the Greeks had something that was known as the phalanx, and the Macedonians take the phalanx, and you can see the pictures here. They make it even better by backing it up with cavalry, that's guys on horses, and of course archers from behind. So even though with the phalanx, you can't get close as it is with all them pointy spears, now you have even more arrows shot out past it and landing on top of you even before you reach the phalanx to attack it. So it's really impressive. And Philip decides he's going to go ahead and take care of the Persians, but he never makes it. At his daughter's wedding, he's murdered. And so control goes to his son Alexander, who's just 20 years old. The people of Thebes says, we're not taking orders from this 20-year-old, and they revolt. And so Alexander moves down to Thebes and crushes Thebes and enslaves the whole city-state within a year. And this freaks everyone out in Greece, and they decide, we're really going to listen to this Alexander guy. He means business. Alexander, now having taken care of the Greeks, decides he's going to go into Persia and crushes them. And again, all along the way, he's improving these ideas. And he starts taking with him Greek culture. Even though he's from Macedonia, he likes Greek culture. Through Persia, he starts laying out Greek ideas. And he continues on. And Alexander eventually goes to Asia Minor, Central Asia, and all the way to the Indus River. That's the edge of India there. Incredible. All along the way, he's spreading these Greek ideas, Greek ideals. He's founding cities known as Alexandria, named after himself. And these became great centers of learning and all this. And he encourages Greek settlers to come who speak Greek, and he encourages Greek temples and Greek-style architecture to be built. And these Egyptian and Syrian and Macedonia cultures are blended with Greek culture, and this is known as Hellenistic. So an Egyptian, Assyrian, or Macedonian culture blended with Greek. So it's not truly Greek, and it's not truly Egyptian, it's not truly Syrian, it's this mix, and that's known as Hellenistic culture. It spreads Greek ideas, which were good ideas, and they went around vast parts of the world. Alexander, over his conquest, creates the world's biggest empire up to that point. It was massive. And he would have kept going, but his soldiers decided to stop fighting at the Indus River. We want to go home, Alexander. He now is known as Alexander the Great because of his conquest, and he agrees. But Alexander never makes it back to Macedonia. He gets to Babylon, gets a fever, and dies at the age of 33. And he's buried in his most famous founded city, Alexandria, Egypt, in a golden coffin. Alexandria, Egypt was a fabulous city, and it was considered one of the world's greatest cities all the way until the Arabians conquered it in the 600 ADs. All these Hellenistic kingdoms of Hellenistic Syria, Hellenistic Macedonia, and Hellenistic Egypt are eventually all conquered by Rome. These three kingdoms come about following Alexander's death. When he died, there was no apparent heir. There was no clear successor to Alexander, and so there was some infighting, but his three most powerful generals decided to divide it up and rule it separately, and they were happy with that, and it was a good system until the Romans eventually conquered all three of those Hellenistic kingdoms. Egypt being the last one, Egypt being the wealthiest, Macedonia falling first, and Syria falling second, due to its divisions in multiple peoples and being less cohesive than, say, Hellenistic Macedonia or Hellenistic Egypt. And of course, Cleopatra, most famously, being one of the Hellenistic pharaohs of the kingdom, being the last pharaoh before being taken over completely by Rome. So I hope this helps with your Alexander and your Peloponnesian War. Remember, your test is coming up soon. Watch this video, practice. If you have any questions, come ask. And always, please head to MrGHistory.net. And if you have any questions, till then, I'll see you later. Peace. MrGHistory.net